And a good morning to you. Happy Friday. Not quite as hot today, but it is sticky. It's thick. Chance of some rain off and on all day today from what I'm seeing. Maybe even some thunderstorms when this front moves through that's coming in. Flying solo this morning. We'll do a short show. I've got to go take care of some real job things. Bill Bender's going to join us about 8:30. I just confirmed that with him. I had some trouble getting him on because I didn't have everything in my studio working. But now we got everything under control. Phone lines are open. If you want to make a call, it's 828-970-7537. I always welcome your phone calls. I'll always be glad to have you in on that. Bob Duckworth sent me a link, and I didn't know this was going on. He said that could the legislature be looking into the High School Athletic Association again? And here's what it comes. This comes from Nick Stevens, high school OT managing editor. It says, after an investigation last summer, it led to new legislation. The special committee that investigates the association, I guess that's the key word here, investigates, has scheduled a new meeting for later this month. The Joint Legislative Commission on Governmental Operations Subcommittee on the Interscholastic Athletics. How about that? We'll meet June 16th at 9 a.m. at the State Legislative Building. Now, we talk about it all the time. I think there's more important things to do than your local government getting involved in those type things, but that's just my opinion, as everything is on here. My opinion, you don't have to agree. I'm not asking you to agree or support me. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. So that's what's coming. Richie, good morning. Stephen Lowe, good morning. Here's the other interesting part of it, I think. If you read on through the article, it says an agenda for the meeting has not been released, and members of the committee reached by high school OT did not say what topics may be on the agenda. Am I the only one that finds that a little bit strange? The NCHSAA told high school OT yesterday evening that it doesn't know what topics will be addressed at the meeting. The first meeting was back in April of 2021. During that meeting, Commissioner Q. Tucker answered questions from lawmakers about the association. Then they met in May of 21. The association was not invited to speak at that meeting. However, 3 people did testify before the committee. Former NCHSAA board member, a Board of Education member for Union County, and State Superintendent Catherine Truitt. In July is when Republicans introduced a bill, House Bill 91, that would have essentially dissolved the association and created a new governing body inside the state government to oversee high school sports in North Carolina. Now the push for that has been because there's a lot of taxpayer money that goes to fund the association, but yet there was no oversight, no control. It was not a part of anything. It was an independent nonprofit organization. The bill was eventually amended to require the association or any other nonprofit seeking to administer high school sports to sign a memorandum of understanding with the State Board of Education. It was signed into law last November. The Association State Board of Education signed an agreement in March giving the association the ability to continue administering high school sports in North Carolina for at least 4 more years. The agreement must be renewed at that time. Now, that's all we know for right now. Now, you would think if there was, how do I put this? If this were a benign meeting, that they would put the topics out there. But not coming out and saying, okay, we're calling this meeting to review finances, to review what's happened so far, make preparations for the upcoming year, makes you wonder, are they going to start jerking somebody's chain again? I'm not saying they need to, or I'm not saying they don't, okay? But I know that some things have changed. They're giving some monies out. I think they've reduced some fees and dues, and we'll just kind of have to see where that goes. But I just thought that was interesting, Bob. Thank you for passing that on. I appreciate that. A couple of topics that came out yesterday. Frank Gore officially retires. Frank Gore spent most of his career with the San Francisco 49ers, going to sign a one-day deal. Officially retires him as a member of the team that drafted him. Now, Bobby Rosinski that I used to work with, Bill Rosinski's son down at ESPN 730, that drove him nuts, the one-day contracts. He did not like the one-day contracts. And I never really understood why it bothered him so bad, because you want to go back. And, you know, if you've been a player that you spent the majority of your career with a specific team and then you moved on for whatever reason, I don't think you hold it against that player because they want to come back and retire as a member of that team. Now, Frank Gore's going to do that. And did you know that Frank Gore is number 3 on total rushing yards in the NFL? Yep, he is number 3. But he's going to sign a one-day contract, and that he will be inducted into the franchise's Hall of Fame at a game in the 2022 season. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. He'll retire as a 49er and go into, I guess it's kind of like their Ring of Honor maybe. 16 seasons, 10 of them with the 49ers. He's the franchise leading rusher in career yards, 11,703, 64 touchdowns, and then 13,956 yards from scrimmage, are only second to receiver Jerry Rice in franchise annual. Let's see. When it comes to running backs, he's number 3 on the list. Emmett is first at 18,355. Walter Payton is next at 16,726. Frank Gore is third, and there's a question mark. Is he a Hall of Fame player? I don't see how you could say he wasn't a Hall of Fame player. Number 3 all-time on the rushing list, and the way the league has changed, probably not going to get surpassed because they just don't run the ball. Everything's passing. So another retirement was announced yesterday as well. Ryan Fitzmagic is retiring. Ryan Fitzmagic, Harvard educated, 9 teams, 17 seasons. He's going to retire. Sustained a season. I'm struggling with my words. Season-ending hip subluxation. I don't know. I'm not medical. Second quarter. The season-opening loss to the Chargers in September, and had to undergo orthopedic surgery. 17, he had signed a one-year deal for $10 million with Washington last spring. In 17 seasons, he started 147 games. He's thrown for right at 35,000 yards, 223 touchdowns, 169 interceptions. He began his career as a 7th-round draft pick at the Rams when they were still in still in St. Louis. He then played for the Bengals, the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, the Jets, the Bucks, the Dolphins, and, of course, the Commanders. He started games for all 9 teams, which is an NFL record among quarterbacks. However, he never made the playoffs during his career. It doesn't say where he's going to – I guess he'll retire as a Commander. It doesn't say if he's going to maybe do a one-year contract or do something like that and retire with a specific team. So there's 2 retirements coming. You may have saw this as well. Darrelle Revis is, Revis Island is going into the New York Jets Ring of Honor during separate halftime ceremonies this season. There's 3 of them that are going in: DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mango, and Darrelle Revis. As Mango and Ferguson, known by fans as Nick and Brick, were popular. They played their entire career for the Jets. Isn't that sad? I hate to say that, but they became the first pair of offensive linemen drafted in the first round by the same team since 1975. Usually you don't see that. There was a passing also, and some folks were upset with the way that it was presented. Former Dallas Cowboy, Chicago Bear running back Marion Barber III passed away at 38. No details on the cause of death. He was a 4th-round pick in the 2005 NFL Draft out of Minnesota. Named to the Pro Bowl in 2007, despite not starting a game for a 13-3 team that finished with the best record in the NFC, led the Cowboys with almost 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns in that season. Milton says that's considered a dislocated hip. Richie said thinks that Frank Gore played for Southern Miss. Okay, that may be true. I've rode under their stadium. I was just down there not long ago. Richie said Gore's going into the 49er Hall of Fame as their franchise leader in rushing. That would be correct. Bill Klein, good morning. Richie said it still does not sound very transparent. Richie said public meeting law only requires that they announce they're having a meeting. They don't have to publish their agenda in advance, but that is unusual for this particular committee. Do they usually publish their agenda in advance? I don't know. See, I was looking at it more of what government does. When I think of county commissions and school boards and city councils locally, I think the majority of them publish their agenda beforehand that you would know. But this time, I don't think it's happy times between the association and the legislature. I just think that that's still kind of one of those things that's a problem between both of them. Richie said there was another player that passed away the other day. He was a first-round pick by Minnesota last year. And it seemed like I did see that too, Richie, and I had forgotten about that. One of the questions that came up, is Frank Gore a first-ballot Hall of Famer? Well, based on his career, based on his stats, how could he not be? Maybe I'm missing something. Don't know if you guys saw any of it last night. I got to get a little bit of a feel of college softball. Super Regionals was going on last night. I did get an opportunity to watch some of that. I get up way too early. I just know that, so I didn't see a whole lot of it. Brian, good morning to you, sir. Glad to have you. I'm going to take a break, and then when I come back, Richie said the last time I saw one published, they put in what they can and may talk about. Didn't mean it would happen or that they would be discussed on a public forum. I'm going to take a break, and then there was a startling, I don't want to call it a request, but a startling announcement made by Ohio State's Ryan Day yesterday. Troubling to me. More at this break.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. First Friday in June. The heat is on, as Glenn Fry would say. I'm not happy about the heat. I couldn't tell you. Back up. Todd said, agenda not required. Agenda is not technically set until body votes to accept it at beginning of meeting. Goes back to Robert's rules. I wasn't aware of that, Todd. That's interesting. Thank you, sir. Brandon Eichert said, saw an article where Tommy White from NC State's jumped into the transfer portal. Brian said, I think Frank Gore should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Third rushing yards of all time speaks for itself. I agree. And the length of his career, that's another thing. So I don't see how you could deny him, but you never know how these things work. Reggie said, did you see that the Panthers practice facility in Rock Hill is officially dead? Yep. He filed bankruptcy. It's not just going to go away. Have you seen that thing? There's a lot of money already in that. And now you've got both governments, both state governments are wanting some money back because there was some government money put into that. It's going to get ugly. Maybe it gets resolved. Richie said, I was surprised to see that. I also saw that NC State baseball picked up what is being considered a big-time transfer from Old Dominion. With the transfer portal now, it allows you to kind of let players that you're not sure of kind of, how do I put this, evaluate you as you play somewhere else before they decide to offer you or bring you in. And especially in like a sport like baseball, you've got such a smaller number of scholarships than you had. So I don't think that's really uncommon. I really don't. Let me give you what I saw yesterday, and now I can't find it. This was a headline that I saw that Ryan Day had made the statement that they needed $13 million for NIL. And I want to say it came from The Athletic. It's not on ESPN's site. Let me Google here. I thought it was on ESPN. Let's see. Oh, here it is. It was from The Athletic. That's where it was. I get these updates all through the day. Ohio State will need $13 million in NIL money to keep its roster intact Buckeye football coach Ryan Day told members of the Columbus business community Thursday, according to a report by Cleveland.com. Now, that's kind of what Nick was doing when he was throwing Jimbo under the bus. We got to have money. Day and Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith reportedly told the 100 attendees that the school is competing with major programs that are directly paying recruits through name, image, likeness. That's what they're all doing. Stop saying you're not doing it. You may not ink the deal till they ink a scholarship, but you're negotiating that stuff, and you would know you needed $13 million. Please, quit being holier than thou. Putting the Buckeyes at risk of having key players plucked from their rosters by other teams. Direct payments from university aren't technically allowed from the by the NCAA, but the rules are not being enforced. If the check isn't written from the university, it's all legal. You wanted this, now you got it. It's all legal. And it's now just on top of the table. Nobody's going to tell me that it wasn't always done. I can tell you from personal experience, 45 years ago, it's always been done. Stop. Stop playing like it never existed. Unscrupulous characters are good at what they do, and it's always been that way, Smith said. That's the part that just burns me up, is when they pretend like there's never been money passed under the table. Day said he believes top-shelf quarterbacks require $2 million in NIL money, and major offensive tackles and edge rushers need $1 million. I hate that I wasn't there. I was an offensive guard back in the pulling days. Some schools won't be able to keep up if they follow the rules, while others will go too far, Day said. If the speed limit is 45 miles per hour and you drive 45, a lot of people are going to pass you. If you go too fast, you're going to get pulled over. Wow. Ohio State. Now, this is according a news release hosted by the school's athletic department. Ohio State is number 1 in NIL compensation and the number 1 of student athletes with at least one NIL activity, with total compensation nearing $3.5 million. Smith and Day's comments come on the heels of the spat between Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, in which Saban suggests A&M bought every player in its top-ranked recruiting class with NIL deals. So where's the problem, Nick? Where's the problem? You can do the same thing. It's legal. If it bothers you, that's on you. Everybody else is playing by the rules, and nobody's going to convince me that you maybe didn't do it directly, but there was money being passed to players. Always has been, always will be. If you put a cap on NIL, all they're going to do is take it back under the table. It's not going to stop it. I said this before. I've said this many times, and this is kind of on my podium hi-hat. You know, I'm on my stump now. When certain things happen, certain things come up for, I guess, morality-type votes. Some people don't think this is moral to be paying these amateur athletes, okay? But they always did. I always equate it to when they were first starting to get alcohol sales in towns and counties or liquor by the drink. The moral majority, and I'm not saying they're wrong, okay, but the moral majority would come out and say, we got to work against this. The part that they missed is you're not going to stop it. If you don't allow it in your town, they're going to go to the next town. They're going to drink and drive a longer distance. If you don't allow it in your county, they're going to go to the next county. They're going to drink and drive a longer distance. Somehow we get it in our heads that, hey, we put a rule on here, it's just going to stop because people are going to say, well, that's not right, and there's a rule and there's a law and we can't do that, so I'm just going to stop drinking. Okay, there was a rule forever that you couldn't pay players, but it happened. Now it's on the table. If you cap it, it's going back underneath the table. You've let the genie out of the bottle. And until some organization comes together and says, if you violate this rule, we're going to shut you down, that's when it stops. They can't afford to shut it down. They can't afford to shut a program down for breaking rules. Okay, we're going to ban you from bowl play. Big frippin' deal. We're going to ban you from playoffs. Okay, we'll be back in 2 years. Shut it down, make it start over. If you don't have teeth and laws and rules, they really don't mean anything. If you get this, don't do anything for you. Wayne Ward, good morning to you, sir. Milton said, I have a friend or booster you need to meet while on your recruiting trip. Richie said that. Milton said, South Carolina's building a nice interstate interchange for the bankrupt practice facility. That's going to go on. Something else will be there. Richie said it won't be for long. In a few weeks to a year, it will be full of potholes. And talking about the NIL money and stuff, like Milton says, you can't unring the bell. But I just thought, after the Nick Saban thing, all of these things, Nick is talking about semantics, I guess. He had a quarterback last year, Bryce Young, I think that's his name, made well over $1 million in NIL money. So what's Nick saying? Well, he didn't get that till after he signed. So you're telling me you wasn't promising him that? It's the same thing. Don't play games with words when it's the same thing. Ryan Day, he's going out to his boosters. Hey, guys, you got to pony up if you want us to keep this good roster we got. You got to pony up. We got to have more money. Sad state of affairs that we've gotten into. I'm still back to what I said before. I don't think you pay them. Now, if the university's making money off their likeness, put it in a trust fund. And as far as the money's concerned, give them a stipend equivalent to what they could make as a part-time worker, like a regular college student. That wasn't enough. It's going under the table. Take a break. Bill Bender will join us next.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. We'll head to our phone lines. This will be our guinea pig. I've heard a dial tone on it. Bill, you there?
I am. How are you?
I am good. Good. Everything's working. We got some new equipment and don't always know that it's going to work, but I'm glad that it's working. Appreciate you joining us today and kind of getting you back on a schedule. I was just talking before I went to the break, and I'll get your take on it. You know, we've had the big stink between Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, Saban calling him out, calling Dion out. How can you do that if you're Nick Saban when you know that you have a quarterback that made well over $1 million in NIL? Is it just a logistics thing that Nick's saying, hey, we don't pay them till they sign? Like they don't even talk about money? What's your take on all that?
Well, I mean, Saban got his point across over SEC meetings. I mean, to me, it's the boosters recruiting rule in recruiting. He wanted to curb, and I'm guessing that will get done at some point. They want guardrails on NIL, and they're trying to put that back in the toothpaste, whatever analogy you want to make. And I think he came across better than what Jimbo Fisher did at both times, because he's offering actual solutions for what these guys are dealing with.
Then I saw yesterday, and I mentioned it, Ryan Day told his group of supporters he needed $13 million to be able to compete. Is it me, or is it not sad that we've gotten to this level?
Well, I mean, this is what people wanted. That's you got to be careful what you wish for sometimes.
Yes.
This is what you – yeah, and now it's out of control. I'm, like, texting, kind of cross-checking what – so, for example – Bryce Young's a high-end example, so it's a bad example. Lamar Jackson makes $2.4 million a year, admittedly on a bad contract that will get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same as C.J. Stroud. And I don't – if that's the market, I don't know if it's right. You know, if a college quarterback is making as much money as a Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback that's won an NFL MVP award, I don't know if that's right.
Well, and the thing of it is, I don't know how you fix it. And the part that scares me, you come out with rules and caps and all that kind of stuff, the money's going to slide back under the table because the money's always been there.
Right, and I think it's going to ruin the college game eventually. Maybe not. The other end of this is a guy like I was just kind of looking at On3's NIL valuation chart, for example, and it's very interesting that KJ Jefferson's another example, an Arkansas quarterback that's making his NIL value. This isn't confirmed, but around $800,000. That's what Felipe Franks makes, and Felipe Franks obviously played at Arkansas for a year. I think that's a great example of what this is intended for, is to get guys like KJ Jefferson that kind of money now. So, yeah, I think it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect, but it's really interesting to see the differences in what the college, like, to me, it's just interesting to cross-check it with what the NFL guy's making.
So my next question is, let's switch sports, but still on the same topic. Does NIL money make it more attractive for players to stay in college and not make that jump after 1 year to the NBA?
I mean, maybe, because now you're seeing people say, well, if I was in Caleb Williams' shoes, I would, or Bryce Young's shoes, I would get in the portal every year.
Right, to the highest bidder.
Agency every year. And if that happens, college football is not going to be very fun for coaches, for players. Fans will love it because, they always do. But, it's not – I don't think it'll be as fun for the coaches. I think you'll see more coaches go to the NFL if there's no safeguards on it, I think, or guardrails, as Nick Saban put it. Then, yeah, the game can get messy real quick. So, I don't – again, I have no problem. I can't tell student athletes what to do. Yeah, they should get their money while they can, because I do think this market will correct itself, and if it doesn't, that could be a problem.
The other big change that's been announced since the last time that I talked to you was the NCAA approved a rule that allowed conferences to select which teams play in a league championship, which means they can get finished with divisions. That was always such a big thing, and one of the reasons that leagues wanted to get to so many members inside the conference is I want to say the old rule used to be you had to have 12 teams to be able to have a conference championship game and 2 divisions. Now it looks like divisions are going away because they don't work unless you realign those divisions on a pretty regular basis. It gets very one-sided, and that championship game's almost useless.
Yeah, sort of. I think if your goal is to get the 2 best teams in the conference championship, the ACC in the COVID year actually provided a pretty good model because they got Clemson and Notre Dame, and then they got them again, and then they got 2 playoff teams. I think that's the best case scenario for conferences that don't use divisions. The other end of it is the Big 12. But that's right now the Big 12 has 10 teams, and they're going to have 12. A league like the SEC that's going to have 16 teams, that's not going to be easy.
Arch Manning, the big recruit that will be signing with a college, does it matter what kind of year he has, and does NIL come into play with him? Because I'm hearing that the Royal Manning family's not going to allow that.
Well, that and it won't matter because they have that Manning family money, so to speak. So I don't think NIL is I don't want to say it this way. It's not as important to Arch Manning, maybe. They've made that clear in his recruiting. They said it's not a factor in his recruiting. So they're trying to go to the best place to get him ready for the NFL, and I think the pressure of carrying that name is going to be enough for him anyway. So, but on the other end of it, if he's worth it, why not? I look at his NIL valuation on this chart by On3 that I've been looking at all morning, and $3.1 million. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's real good. That is real good. One final question before we let you go: what do you think's going to happen with the Browns with Deshaun Watson and the NFL? What are you hearing?
Well, you can't predict that. I keep reading that 4 to 6, anywhere from that to the entire season, which would mean he would be out of football for 2 seasons, which it's a large chunk of a career. So, we'll see. The details on this, obviously there was another woman who came forward when I read that report the other day, and I don't know. I mean, honestly, you can never predict what Goodell's going to do. I would still guess 4 to 6 games, but if it's more than that at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
So how does that affect, when I look at it and I think about Goodell and what he does, and I go back to the story that I read yesterday that now there's a congressional committee that has invited or requested but not demanded that he testify in this mess that's going on with the Commanders with some of the deposits not being returned to ticket buyers. Does any of that change things going on in the NFL with Roger Goodell? Because now you're getting on the legal side and you're getting into money, and that's when people really get upset.
Yeah, I mean, they do. And obviously, we'll see. Goodell, I don't think he cares. So,
right.
He's kind of had since he's taken that on, he's had some arbitrary suspensions. It's easy to forget, Adrian Peterson was out for like a whole year.
Right.
A couple other guys have had lengthy suspensions under Goodell, and the way this is trending, Lanny, I think that one's headed in the same direction.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not going to change. Bill, great to hook up with you again. Hopefully we can get together again next week. I appreciate your time as always.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, buddy. That's Bill Bender, Sporting News. Catching up on we've missed him for a couple of weeks, so we had to catch up there for just a little bit. I'm going to buzz out of here. I got to get on the road here early. Thanks for joining me this morning, flying solo with me. Had just a couple of comments came in while Bill was on. Milton said they can't unring the bell. That's kind of what it is. Milton said, be sad to graduate, go pro, and have to take a pay cut. And then Richie said, does it make it easier for the non-revenue sports to build a roster and keep it, or will they have to work harder? The sports that, as long as nobody else is paying Richie, it's not going to matter. That's where the difference comes in. The sad part about it is, it's going to get unrecognizable. You basically bought free agency to college football. That's the bad part about, to college sports. I'm not going to say college football. But it could possibly help college basketball because these guys can make some money. So if they can make some money without going to the NBA, and I don't know what starting NBA pay is, so that may help college basketball keep players just a little bit longer. Have a great weekend. If you're out and about tomorrow, I'll be broadcasting live with WLON down at City Lunch, downtown Lincoln, 65-cent hot dogs, and that is in celebration of their 65th anniversary. So if you get an opportunity, come by and see me. I'll be there from 10 to 1. Then there's going to be some music tomorrow afternoon. There'll be a live band. I think they're going to close off a street to make this possible. So come on down to City Lunch and see me. I'll be there at 10 o'clock. Have a great weekend. The boys will be here in the morning from 8 to 10, and then I'll be at City Lunch 10 to 1. Then I'll see you again on Monday. Juju and I should be in studio 8 a.m. sharp. Have a great day.